Audio TV. Today I've come to the Bristol City Centre Marriott Hotel, which has for 30 years been the home of Sound and Vision Bristol. It's a show organised by the Audio T chain of shops. It's become the de facto most important showcase and showplace for everything that's new, not just in hi-fi, but also in home theatre. There are always some absolutely awesome home theatre installs here. Now, of course, I'm going to be trying to get around and have a look at some products, but at best, I can only record in stereo. It's a posh stereo microphone, but oh my, if you want to experience Dolby Atmos and DTSX object-based audio, well, you're going to have to come along to a show like this. So let's go and have a look. I've got a bunch of people that I want to go and see, and hey, A is for Acoustic Energy. Incidentally, it's their 30th birthday as well this year, and I cannot deny it, a soft spot in my heart, because I was their first production manager. Righty-ho, well, I've come to the Acoustic Energy room, as you can see. This is Mr. James Luce of Acoustic Energy, and this is the AE1 Active.
This is our new speaker.
James, tell us a little bit about the Active, because this seems to be a big trend at the show this year.
Yes, it's something, active technology isn't new, but it's gaining acceptance more and more, and that is why we've gone that route. We've had these speakers in one form or another for about 4 or 5 years in the office. We've wanted to make them, but we're waiting for the right time, and as it is, it's our 30th anniversary. The AE1 is 30 years old, and so what we've been looking to do is do something a bit exciting with it. So we've put in 200 watts of amps built into the speaker, so 50 watt per drive unit. You've got a bit of bass and treble trim control, overall volume control, XLR RCA connections, rear slot port, all the usual hi-fi stuff really, but we've kept it very simple. So it's £1,000 a pair like the old A1 was, but you've got 200 watts of amp for free essentially, and it means you can plug anything you like into the speaker. It will go loud, low, it will sound lovely, much better than the equivalent passive speaker, because you lose all the distortion, you lose all of the crossover nastiness. And that's why we've gone that route, really. That's the premise, and it seems to work quite well.
I have to tell you that there's actually a bit of emotional attachment for me. 30 years ago, I was rescued from rock and roll by a mad Welshman called Phil Jones. He'd stuck a lot of araldite on a Gauss 15 and discovered that because it was rigid, the performance went insane. That turned into a triple laminated spun aluminium cone, patented, and has been, with its thermal transference, awesomeness and total lack of power compression.
Absolutely, ever since.
Ever since.
I still make it there. It's still in the speaker.
I can tell you, I've actually got goosebumps.
Yeah, well, it still works, and it's still a very good drive unit material. It still does all the good things, the pistonic movement, all these kinds of things which give you that nice, clear, powerful sound from what's essentially a very small cone.
It is. So moted be the AE1 Active for 2016, 30 years after some fat bloke built the very first ones. Here I'm on the Goldring, well, you can call it a booth, although it's a little piece of a corridor. And this is Mr. David Giffin, not Griffin, okay, Giffin. This is the gentleman who's in charge of production of the cartridges at Goldring that they're most fabulously famous for. And I just couldn't help but spot just how telegenic this set of kit is. So, David, this is the stuff you use at work?
This is the very same jigs, all the equipment. We basically wind all the moving coils on for Goldring. So what I'm actually doing at the moment, and I can find the wire, is we've got copper wire on a reel here, which goes around various different wheels onto a winder, and I'm just going to bring the wire onto the coil winder. So I'm going to attach the wire onto the end of the winder, and I'm going to bring the wire onto a coil. So at the moment I'm going to wind 24.
I'm going to move to the TV screen here, David, because
that's all right.
This is a tiny, tiny camera pointing at the image that you're looking at.
Yeah,
wow.
So basically what you can see on the scan is what I can see under the microscope.
Wow. Good precision of that. So while it's winding away, and back gently. Here's the gentleman making a cartridge. Analog's not dead. I love that. There's the enemy pieces, Mr. Giffin's face just punching as he smiles gently whilst winding another cartridge. Okay, well I've managed to find a changeover moment here in the PMC room because I don't want to get too many copyright hits in one bit. This is AVM. Hallo, wir starten mit AVM 8. Tell me about these. I'm stood next to Keith from PMC, who I've known. How long have I known you, Keith?
Oh, longer than I can remember.
Yes, it's like, don't. Oh. Tell us about AVM. It's in Deutsch, yeah?
Yeah, they're a company based in Melch, in Alsace, and they're producing phenomenal quality audiophile products, streamers, amplifiers, media players of outstanding quality. And they also have an advantage because they're built on a modular design, so you can upgrade. So you can start off with a product and then upgrade as you go along. Yeah.
And what's that great big beast on the end, that huge
thing? That's the SA 8.2, which is the largest of the power amplifiers. It's an amplifier of outstanding quality, and it will deliver ample wattage into your loudspeakers.
This is German engineering saying sufficient jar.
Absolutely.
It's probably brutally powerful.
Yeah, brutally powerful and beautifully finessed, actually.
So I'm just getting a bottle of your tune there.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's really well engineered. There's no visible fixings on the outside of the units. So the attention to detail is absolutely outstanding. It's well worth looking inside the unit, especially the power amplifiers, to see the build quality.
I've just got a little shift here. Fabulous. I was a bit out of focus there. So AVM Electronics, now on sale with PMC. The KEF room here, we're actually in one of the posher rooms. This is Mr. Ron Locke on the left of your picture, Mr. Michael Johnson on the right. Chaps, how much kit have you got in that room in there?
Well, not an awful lot of kit this time around. We're focusing this weekend mainly on our LS50 wireless offering, which is obviously a new LS50 wireless active product.
Wow, so just plug it in the mains and you can put it all over the place?
Pretty much. Ready, hot to try out the box, which is great. Also got a bit of new media product and a couple of examples of the higher end stuff that we build obviously over in Maidstone as well. So
cool.
Blade 2 and the reference 5.
I have to come and see these.
Yeah.
I gather it's going to be easier to film later in the afternoon to go back in now and go.
Yeah, it's notoriously busy first thing, and generally it quietens off after around lunchtime, so it's probably the best time.
It's a busy show,
Yeah,
but we do have our Porsche design and KEF partnered products at the back as well. So
awesome. So that is of course the legendary R-cam for your front end, is it not? Have I put my foot in my mouth?
Well.
Who have you got at the front end? It was simply because R-cam was the electronics at the centre of the system. I did with the magazine.
We don't.
We're not favouring any electronics brand this time around.
Because the LS50 wireless actually is a fully active system.
So it is. Gotcha. We're not got any speaker. No overall major systems. This is about the LS50. It's interesting. There's some wireless seems to have finally come of hi-fi acceptance age.
Yeah, I agree.
As have people waving phones for the source. It's 96. It's a phone. No, it's not like that anymore, is it?
No, it's a system of convenience. I mean, a lot of people listen now on music that's stored on a device somewhere, whether a NAS drive
Things
or
on discs are quite now, aren't they?
Well, they are. Well, I still love the romanticism of a disc and reading the sleeve notes and stuff personally. But adapting and being adaptive as a brand that we are, we can obviously bring products in that support the modern way of listening. I think it's given us an edge. I think it's given us a bit more of a...
Guys, we'll leave it there because I'm sure they want to see the product rather than your handsome faces. And I'll come back later in the day and oath down your wireless offering, as they say.
Do it. You're welcome back.
Yeah. Cheers.
Anytime. Cheers.
Thank you.
Well, this year at the show, I think the trend would appear to be active loudspeakers. Active speakers have been around forever, but this is the home of really serious hi-fi. And I've seen people streaming music into systems as well today from phones. Yeah, we know about this, but it's just about acceptance by the British hi-fi world. Meanwhile, I came out without breakfast, did every possible error I could do with the sat-nav, but look what I found for lunch. Ooh, all the pies. Okay, well, I've come to the SVS room here at the Bristol Hi-Fi Show. And there's a gentleman here all the way from America. This is Mr. Walter Schofield, who is the International Director of Sales for SVS. Now, SVS is a brand very well known for absolutely ground-shaking lows, as well as your main now speaker products. What have you got on display here today, Walter? Tell us about you.
Well, today we're featuring our new Ultra 16 series of subwoofers. This is the SB16 Ultra, a sealed box. And it's got three absolute firsts. First, it's got a 16-inch driver with an 8-inch edge-wound voice coil.
That's epic.
That's
8-inch.
8-inch edge-wound voice coil.
More metal in the gap.
We weren't going to build a subwoofer that just put out more bass. It had to be as articulate and detailed as everything else that we put out. It utilizes a 50-pound magnet/motor as well. Also, it's a 1,500-watt amplifier with peaks of over 5,000 watts per channel. And it uses a discrete MOSFET output as well. Ooh. So, and a switch mode power supply.
So enormously muscular, fabulously clean, and remarkably tight. We were just watching that fabulous thing that Red Bull made of the nutters jumping down the mountains on snowboards and stuff. And it was just flipping biblical.
Yeah, it puts prodigious amounts of bass into the room, but articulate, detailed bass. Also, first, we've got a two-way app, which is a Bluetooth app. It works on Android as well as Apple platforms, and it communicates both ways. So if you change something on the front panel, it will update it on the app, and vice versa. The app will update it as well. Again, it's Bluetooth, so you don't have to be line of sight with the subwoofer to adjust it. That will adjust gain, phase, parametric EQ. You've also got 3 presets for music, movie, and gaming, of which you can customize.
That's awesome. So basically, if you do have issues about control and change, of course, you want to adjust it from where you're sat, don't you? So that's a key thing for that. You can sit on your bottom on the sofa. And
it is key. Instead of having to get up and change everything, go to the back of the woofer or even the front, you can change it from your listening position, which is most important.
Well, Walter, thank you so much. I mean, the absurdity of this is the public are outside, and I've been given privileged access without music playing so that YouTube don't get me copyright strike. And I'd love to have a go at one of these. Walter, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for talking with me. I appreciate it. And by the way, that's 2,500 pounds.
Gotcha.
And weighs 130 pounds.
I didn't even ask. It was like, I'm so awestruck by the performance. It's in actual fact, I can tell you from, obviously you know this, but from having reviewed an awful lot of woofers with the performance, bizarre but true, that represents good value for money.
It is tremendous value for the money. We're very proud of what we manufacture at SVS.
Okay, they're looking absolutely terrified, like a rabbit in the headlamps, although slightly in silhouette against the magic words Fathom V2 there. That's Mr. Manny John Isle of, what's your company called, Manny?
AV Tech Solutions, basically.
And your big thing is?
Subs.
JL audio ones in particular, the domestic audio ones.
Yes, home audio products.
So let's have a quick look at this transducer down here, because you're obviously worried about being on camera. What is this thing down here from? This is a huge, huge speaker.
It's an E-Sub 12 drive unit with a steel front baffle plate. It's got a dual spider drive unit. It's long throw, so it's able to do peak-to-peak excursion of 2.5 to 3 inches. And that is the drive unit that encases in the E-Sub 12.
Holy heck. There's so little light and I'm having problems focusing. But the E-Sub 12, how much is one of them?
The E-Sub 12 retails at $1,949 for Ash and $2,049 for Gloss.
So these are not cheap subwoofers by any means.
No, but they're very capable.
I've been obviously sat, there's a fat man in the middle there, been sat listening to these fabulous ATC speakers here and checking out the whole array of the different woofers you've got here. There's one gentleman I've kind of accosted on account of he said just one thing completely unsolicited. You seem like someone startled. I haven't even asked this man's name. What is your name, dear boy?
Tom.
Tom, hello Tom. It's good to know someone's name if you're going to steal their spirit with your camera, But...
So am I, you right for light there?
Question, what did you think of the sound here? Because you just...
Okay, I'll say on the whole, it sounded like the best thing I've heard so far here.
Wow.
The tops there, what make are they again?
Those are ATC.
Yes.
Company that makes an awful lot of recording studio loudspeakers.
Fabulous detail and transparency, and then the bass, obviously, I've heard a lot of subwoofers.
Yes.
Was moving. Me too. Very moving, obviously. Deep would be an obvious word, but moving as in, like, room wobbles, and you lose your head.
Yes. There's not a lot more than that you can say. Tom, thank you very much for your input, dude. There's Adam Rain or Royal Warren Manager on Earl, who's never been on video before. But that's the whole point. It's the Bristol Hi-Fi show today. A whole bunch of people have been through the room, and I've kind of had to hang on to. We got a bit of a moment, but really, truly, some absolutely beautiful subs. That man smiling was looking rather worried before then. I said, try not to look too scared. I'm in the Ophidian room here at the Bristol Hi-Fi show. And, well, I was a bit worried because I'd not heard of these guys. And you've been going 5 years, have you not, Gareth?
That's true.
And stereo outfits, so your speakers are all left and right, so there's no centres and subs, which is my excuse for you not being on my radar, as it were, that and plain ignorance. You've got some lovely speakers in here, but in particular, we've been listening to, just because I asked, to these tiny weeny little things here. Come and grab it for me, dear boy, and wave it at the camera for me. What is the name of this tiny little spud?
This little palm-sized pocket rocket is the Ophidian Minimo, which is our smallest speaker. And yeah, it's a simple, well, not so simple, two-way involving our Aeroflex based technology.
So far, you're looking at people sort of heard that. Think, what's Aeroflex technology? One thing, just before we crack on, let's just wang the camera around and show that some of the really great and the good of the hi-fi world, Martin Collins of Hi-Fi Critic and an outfit called Hi-Fi Pig, have raved about this. So I've just heard it. It is remarkable. It's full range. It goes down an insane way. I probably would run a woofer under it, which is an offensive thing to say to the design of these. But tell us about what you've done. What is Aeroflex? Because it's remarkable.
Basically, it's a combination. It's a hybrid between a transmission line and a reflex design. So it's just a new way of thinking about base loading and.
It's just a new way of thinking about base loading. This is something people have been slaving away over for like the last 70 years or so. What's going on in there is effectively something like an acoustic resistive type loading. Does it vary according to frequency as to how much it gets in the way of the...
Yeah, I mean, basically, in terms of, compared to a reflex port, it's much more broadband, operates over a much wider range of frequencies. Therefore, if you move it close to a wall, you don't get that boomy one-note bass. It just tilts the overall spectrum up and adds more weight. It's all to do with reducing port velocity out of the port exit here.
Because if it gets too big a fraction of the speed of sound, you get that chuffing, do you know?
Exactly.
Wow. James, thank you so much. That's I called you James. Mr. James. Gareth James. I was just astonished and amazed and confused and stupid. Gareth, I wish you huge success with Ophidian. Have you been having a good show? People impressed?
Yeah, it's been pretty successful so far. We've had a lot of interest.
And just so you know, these amazing little speakers that are computer speaker size but mean real hi-fi from real posh files are the thick of £700 because they're worth it.
So this is a bit of Duck McCloud.
Look for me sometime tomorrow. Oh, baby, you know I'll be gone. I'll be in some new sunrise. Be walking on. So many nights, along with my blues. Oh, how I hope that you be true. I'll walk it on some new sunrise. I'll be walking on. I was your fool, so I got played. I was hoping you change your way, but now I'm walking on some new sunrise. I'm just walking on. Oh, I know you hurt me too, but baby, I just want you to be true. I'm walking on, little girl, I'm walking on. Look for me sometime tomorrow. I'm gonna I'll be in some new sunrise. I'll be walking on. I'll be in some new sunrise. And I'll be walking on.
Okay, so we get that premise. Now look, let's be real. Probably it's likely that in most cases, particularly in the UK, most people are going to be more than happy with the low frequency output of that and probably not want to use a subwoofer in stereo on top of that. And we understand that.
Well, it's been a long day and there have been some amazing things launched here at the Hi-Fi show in Bristol. The gentleman in front of me there is one of the aristocracy of British Hi-Fi, a gentleman called Andy. I think we've known of each other for the thick end of 2.5 decades, Mr. Kay, have we not?
That's absolutely correct, believe it or not.
You, Pat Rayner, yes. It's not fair, cracking the media trained man up on camera. Tell me about DB1D, because this is the evolution of the awesome DB1. Sean Marin rubbed my nose in the subwoofer effect after a long career. I thought I knew everything. Played me some organ music on a small pair of speakers, then turned on the DB1 and we were in the bloody cathedral without sounding like basically. So, how do you improve on that?
Well, well, the first and most fundamental thing is the drive units, right? So clearly, as you know, we spent a lot of time working on drive unit design to try and improve the pistonic performance of the drive units. So this particular subwoofer and the other two models in the range use drive unit technology derived from the 800 series diamond loudspeakers. So you've got the aerofoil cone. We launched that in 2015, first off in the 800 series loudspeakers, and now we're taking it across. So in DB1D, as you know, it's a 12-inch system. The old one used rower cell, the new one used aerofoil. So aerofoil just fundamentally, by its inherent stiffness, just behaves better. It's just cleaner. It's more pistonic in its outcome.
So straightforward, classic Bowers Tech, better cone than yours.
Yeah, fundamentally, absolutely. And then you throw that together with an improved optimised motor system, got very, very powerful magnets, got a very stiff chassis, so it's very clean, very low distortion. The other big thing I would say that's an improvement mechanically inside this product is inside the cabinet itself. So there's a new clamping system that we use. So there's a big, best way to think about it would be an aluminium Jubilee clip, a very substantial Jubilee clip.
On the video that when we were having the demo.
That's correct. So it mounts inside here. So traditionally, of course, the motor systems are only located at the front of the loudspeaker here, the normal sort of bolts that go through the wood. But we've got some very high mass magnets. There's an awful lot of structural mass inside those things. So this central clamping system basically grabs hold of those two magnets and fundamentally locks the whole system together really, really stiffly, and allows the system to work that much more effectively and reduces still further the overall structural vibration that moves through the cabinet. And again, that just results in a cleaner output. So that's mechanical stuff.
Yes.
The other thing that's really relevant is the new preamplifier and amplifier stage. So down here, we've got a completely new digital preamplifier, significantly improved in terms of the DSP. The DSP is an awful lot more powerful than it was before.
That's digital processing improving all the time, isn't it?
Absolutely, and basically that just allows us to be more precise. So because you can be more precise in your calculations, you can be more effective in terms of your filtering. So you can get the system absolutely correct in terms of filtering at 10 Hertz, not around 10 Hertz or around 12 Hertz, but absolutely where you need to be. So that's very effective. And then the preamplifier is coupled to new power amplification. So in the DB1D, you're running two sets of Hypex 500 watt stereo power amps. So they are stereo units, 2 by 500 watts, and then they're running bridge-tied loads, so each side's running a kilowatt. So you've got a kilowatt to that drive unit and a kilowatt to that drive unit, 2 kilowatts total output. The same amplifiers running in stereo populate the other two products, but of course is one of them. So there's 1,000 watts in that one and 1,000 watts in that one.
Awesome. Andy, thank you so much. Can't wait to have a go.
Good fun.
Cheers. I was wondering where everybody had gone. Sorry, dear boy, do carry on. Where they'd all gone is, of course, the hotel bar. All I know is it's been on a hell of a show. The real trends this year seem to be active loudspeakers with very small footprints. We've had Kev and Acoustic Energy and other people doing it, and I have an absolute ball. It's kind of weird, I ran out of day all of a sudden. And I never thought I'd be pointing this thing at myself as a bloody selfie either. Anyway, Adam Rayner, Talk Audio TV. This was the Bristol Hi-Fi Show 2017.